Yesterday we began to talk about a biblical worldview of humanity. What are people? Who are people? What does the Bible say about us as people? So we're looking at different facets, 5 or 6 different facets over the next few days that Scripture says, here is what a person is like. And the very first one was that we as people have been created by God. We're very unique in the created order of God. We're not like angels. We'll talk about that in a couple of days. We're not like the beasts of the field. We're unique. In many ways, I suppose we could actually say we are the chief of God's creation of all that He has ever created. And so we're very special in that way. So we see that we're special in the eyes of God because God Himself has chosen to create us in a certain way. He chose to create us out of the dust of the earth, and later on when we die as a result of sin, we return to the dust of the earth. The body is very important in the creation of people. Angels don't have bodies. Angels are spirits. But human beings, we have bodies. And we'll have bodies for all eternity, according to the Scriptures. We will be given a new body, a glorified body, to live with the Lord forever in His kingdom. And we'll always have physical bodies. So we're unique. But I want to talk about one other aspect today before we begin to look at the body itself, and as well as the immaterial nature of humanity, and that is the fact that we're made in the image of God. And we couldn't put more emphasis on that if we had to. So many things that are going wrong in our world today when it comes to people, it goes back to the fact that most people do not understand that we as people are made in the very image of God. No other being is ever said to be made in the image of God. Again, not angels, not the beast of the field, and therefore we are unique. I'm for animal rights to a certain degree. I love animals. I want to protect animals and all that type of thing, but animals are not people. People are unique. People are superior to animals. Angels are a fascinating study, and eventually we'll get to that in our understanding of the biblical worldview, but angels are not people. They don't have bodies. They don't live on the earth like we do. And so there's a uniqueness. And they're not made, as far as we're ever told in Scripture, in the image of God. But in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and 27, it says that we are. It says this, "Then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the sky and over the cattle and over all of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." God created man in His own image. In the image of God He created them, male and female He created them. And God blessed them. And God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, and the birds of the sky, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." So we're made in the image of God. We're told that here. We're told that in other places of Scripture. The question is, what does that mean? And there's been a lot of theories about what it means to be made in the image of God that has been spread throughout the Christendom, throughout the ages. Often people say, well, we're in the image of God in that we have a intellect, emotion, and will as God has. And there's truth to that. God has intellect, emotion, and will, and that's the definition of a person. So God is a person, a divine person, but a person. And so personhood would involve intellect, emotion, and will. So as a person, as a people, you and I have a mind, an intellect. We feel things emotionally, and we have a will, and we make choices. And so that could be a definition of personhood. But it's not the same thing as being made in the image of God, I don't think. That is not the definition. I think the best definition of this is that we were placed on the earth in such a way that we are the representative of God on earth. We were placed here to rule over this earth for God. We were to be His viceroys, His representatives. We have similarities to God that we just mentioned, intellect, emotion, and will, and so forth. We have a spirit as well as a physical body. God doesn't have a physical body, but He is spirit. So there is some similarities there. But the best answer is that we are the representatives of God. We are His image in that sense on the earth for Him. We're not God. We're not deity, but we are His representatives. And we're made in His image to represent Him on this planet at this time. And so we're made in that image of Him. So that's the second thing that I think a biblical worldview teaches us. We are unique. We are, of all creations, made in the very image of God. That ought to give you a wonderful day in the Lord as you think about it. I hope it does. We'll see you tomorrow.